welcome to the Psychic Holistic Spotlight. I'm Bill Hannon, your host tonight, with co-host Ken Demers. This evening we're interviewing Terry Lewandowski, a motivational speaker who has a very interesting view on life where she is very comfortable approaching people and sharing with them things that she feels is relevant and helpful. So good evening, Terry. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So you told me before that when we had first met that you had basically leave yourself open to spirit, and you look for guidance, and sometimes you feel guided to make yourself available to people. Just give me a little bit of background as to how you felt comfortable enough with yourself that you could just walk up to people and share.
Well, I've actually always known this ever since I was a little girl. I always considered myself to be the love bug. That's what I call myself, Terry the love bug. I think that conjures up such good feelings and high vibration, actually, because for some reason, I always knew ever since I was a little kid that the world I was living in, that didn't make sense to me. I still came from this knowing inside of me, my core, that the world was about love, that I'm here to love others, and to enjoy the life living on this planet, and that much of what I saw wasn't about love, and I couldn't understand it. So as I'm growing up in the world, and I'm being who I am, which is love, which is what I believe we all are, which is what I believe life is. It's all about love. I couldn't understand what was going on around me, but yet I couldn't not be who I was. So even though things were happening to me, or so I thought, and through experiences of all the experiences I was going through, I knew they were actually for me to grow and evolve, and to come to the knowing of who I truly am by my choices that I am making, by the experiences that I'm going through. So for example, if somebody does something to me that I felt was very hurtful to me, I could sit there and do that back to them, and I have that choice to say, well, you made me feel this way, or this is the way I chose to feel from this experience that we experienced together, but I'm actually not going to do that back to you because I don't like how that made me feel, or how I chose to feel about that, so I'm not going to do that back to you. I'm actually going to just walk away, or make a different choice, or come with different words to maybe change that experience with you.
When did you become aware that, when were you able to step back, basically out of yourself and see what was going on in order to present yourself that way?
Well, actually, as I was going through my life as a child and as a teenager, I was always getting in trouble for speaking up. The one thing my father taught me was, if you don't stick up for yourself, no one else will. So I took that literally. And so I was sticking up for myself in school, getting in trouble. I was sticking up for myself in jobs, getting in trouble. I was always getting in trouble for speaking my mind. And when I would speak my truth, usually something I didn't agree with something that somebody said, this is the way it is, and I would ask why, or something like that. And the answer to me was, well, who do you think you are? And I'd go, well, I'm me.
That's right.
Who else am I to be but me? And I have this question, and I would like an answer, so would you please answer me? But they're going, yeah, no. We're just going to push you back in the box, or push you back down in that chair, and you need to just be a good little girl, or even a bigger girl as a teenager. You just need to be quiet. You just need to listen and shh. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, no, can't do that.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't do it.
You were like leaping out of
totally.
yourself just to come
Totally
over the
leaping
situation.
Out. Yes,
right?
yes,
Absolutely.
to say, well, you're telling me this, but guess what? I don't have to do that.
Right.
And I just knew I didn't have to, even though it might get me in trouble. Even though I might get labeled, which I did, I got the label of troublemaker, rebel. You can't get along with anybody, when in fact I get along with most people.
Right. That's right.
So it was the complete opposite of what I was hearing, but yet I kept trudging along and trudging along. But then I did the route of everything I was told, because to me, living life is, everybody's telling you what to do, at least the family I grew up in. This is what you do to be happy. You go to school, you be a good girl, then you go to college, and you get a good job. Then, of course, you want to get married and have kids, and then your husband will take care of you, and then maybe after that, you know, after you work and work and work, and you have no time together and no time for life because everybody's too busy, then maybe you'll retire and you might enjoy yourself. Unless one of you dies, and then you're lonely, and then that's life. So as I'm living this life, I'm married and I have 3 kids and I'm married to this man, and I'm talking to God saying, wait a minute, is this how marriage is supposed to be? I'm supposed to be suffering and being in pain. And the point is, my marriage, I believe every marriage is a learning tool for both of you to grow and evolve. And sometimes you pick a partner that actually you can't grow and evolve with, or they don't want to grow and evolve, and you have to surrender that, which is what I did, because I actually found my power to say I deserve better than this, even though I love this man. But I want him to be happy, but I also deserve to be happy. And if we're not happy together, then that's okay. But that's when my world changed, because once I decided to get a divorce, then all of a sudden judgment came in from all these people that, quote, loved me. And it just blew me away.
Really?
Because all of a sudden I decided to love myself enough to say I deserve better, and then I had family members attack me and tell me I couldn't do that. I don't deserve to be happy. I'm not happy. You can't be happy. So we're not going to let you be happy. So we're going to do all this stuff. So all these things started happening, and they were extremely painful, extremely hurtful, coming from the perspective of, what are we taught? Your family is everything.
So what was your, all right, kid, go ahead.
What are you trying to motivate? You're a motivational speaker as part of the.
Yes.
What are you trying to motivate people to do or be, or
to come,
the role?
To let go and open up, to let go of the old ways of what we've been taught and told, and this is how the world is, and open up to a new idea. I'm here to open up one little window or one little door for my brothers and sisters, and I mean everybody throughout the whole world. Open up one little window or door to your heart and soul, because we were taught to come from our mind and our ego, and that we're never good enough, and we live in a world of judgment, so we go around judging everybody else and especially judging ourselves. And I'm here to open up a little window and door to tell you, guess what? You're this beautiful, beautiful piece of God. Whether you believe in God or not, you don't have to believe in God or not. I believe everything is love. To me, my journey has brought me to my knowing that, for me, there's one life, one love, one God. No matter what part of the country you live in, no matter where you live, no matter what galaxy, no matter anything, I believe we're all connected and we're all part of all that is, and we are all one. We're not separate from each other, but that's what we're taught, which is where judgment comes in, which is where hatred comes in, because we're all taught this stuff that, to me, has never been true for me. But as a kid growing up and as an adult, I kept fighting that, and now I totally embrace who I am, and I sit here and I come from love, and I only speak about love to help people to love themselves, because I see a world that's crying. I see people that hate themselves, not just themselves, but hate others. And this is perpetuated through all the things that are out there, external from us.
So what do you want people to learn from you?
That it's okay to love yourself. That it's okay to sit there and go, wow, I am the pure love and light of that which created me, expressed through my individualized self. And for me, that's Terry. For you, that's Bill. For you, that's Ken. And you're absolutely beautiful just as you are. Because I'm here to help dehumanize God, because God judges not. God loves you just as you are, because God doesn't make junk.
And
you're taught to not love you as you are.
Okay, so once we have the ability for unconditional love for ourselves,
yes,
what's the next step in applying it to?
Well, because I am the change I want to see in the world, so what I do is, because I completely love and accept myself as that which created me, that I am the rock that gets thrown in the water. And I am that rock that is solid, right? I am rock solid in my knowing of what I speak. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like what I say.
But you have organized religions that are telling people to hate people.
Oh, I know, but guess what?
They're not. They're not right. They're not proper. They're not this. They're not that.
There's that separation, and basically, at the core of it all, there really is. That's an illusion.
That is an illusion, separation.
And-
And hierarchy and superiority. I'm better than you and you're better than me. Actually, I am, even with my knowing of where I am now, I am no better than you or her or anybody. I am no better than anybody, no matter where I am in my awareness, because I know that we are all part of all that is, and all there is love. At least in my world, that's all there's ever been. And now that I'm a big girl, I can speak about it and not be afraid to speak about it, because there's nothing anyone can do to me. Or actually, if they choose to do whatever they choose to do, that's their choice. But guess what? Because of my faith and my belief and my trust, there's nothing that anybody can do to me that can hurt me unless I decide so.
How do you get people to believe that? No, not wrong choice of word. How do we get people to accept that as their own truth?
Well, then that's when you have to do, see, that's the lovely part about anybody in their path, is that I can give you the tools, I can talk, I can teach, I can help you remember, but you're the one who has to do the work. There's nothing I can do for you. You have to decide that you're worthy of better than what you've been giving yourself. Because I'll tell you, I was treating myself like, you know what? I thought I was very good to myself. I love myself. I'm speaking up. I'm doing this. But then I look at my external life, the man I married, the choices I was making, the life I was living, and I actually realized that, guess what? I wasn't loving myself. Because I was believing the world telling me I had to put up with this, and this is how life is. And that's what happens when you get married. You just live with it. You dug your grave, now lie in it. But actually, me being me and the tough cookie that I am, I don't surrender very easily. So I did everything I could possibly do to save my marriage. And until I got to the point of the realization that, wow, I can't make anybody do anything. This is about me. It's not about them. This is all about me. And is this enough for me? Is this what I think I deserve? Well, actually, no. And that was really hard to do, to actually break free from the conditioning and the chains and the world telling me, oh, no, 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 no. In fact, once I got my divorce, I said, I'm getting an annulment, because that was so in my head. I went for an annulment, and you know what? That was one of the worst experiences I ever experienced.
Catholic Church?
Yes. And when I talk about getting the annulment, I had to go to the last quote meeting, and these two sisters sat there and judged me as if I was a murderer. Well, even as a murderer, see, God judges not, but it doesn't matter. I was completely honest in all the stuff I wrote, because that's who I am. I have nothing to lie about.
Wait a minute, you lost me. How were they judging? I've never heard this before.
Oh, they were sitting there. You go for at the end of the thing, they call me into the chantry, and I sit there, and they say, well, and they were sitting there, and everything that I wrote in the big thing you have to fill out for an annulment, okay, I was completely honest. So they knew everything. I didn't leave anything out. Whatever question they asked, I answered. So that means my whole life. So they sat there and they were judging me with what I wrote in the annulment. And they were putting me down, and they were treating me like I was a criminal. And the thing is, I was going to speak up, but I said to myself, no, if you speak up, you're not going to get your annulment. So keep quiet and don't say anything. So I didn't say anything, even though it was really hard. I'm sitting there going, I want to jump out of this chair and go, what are you saying to me? Why are you treating me like that? So I didn't say anything. And then they said, okay, you got your annulment. I walked out of the door, and I still remember this as if it was yesterday. And I turned around and went like this and looked at the building, and I went, wow, I didn't need that in order to like myself. I didn't need that in order to love myself, to say you deserve better than what you were getting. And that was such an atrocity of the religion that I was taught.
Getting from who? The church?
Yeah, the
husband,
whole
the nuns,
hierarchy,
the priest,
the religion. Yeah, the religion. The organized religion that tells you that you're a sinner, that tells you that, oh, you got married, and because you decide that this marriage isn't working, and even though I did everything within my human power to save it, because I wanted that, because that's what I was taught. I had children. I didn't want it to end.
Right.
But then it got to the point that I had no choice, because it was just toxic for all of us. So because I did a loving thing, right? Now that is love. To me, letting him go. You deserve to be happy if me and your children don't make you happy. And I was a great wife and mother, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Right?
I know.
I'm going to let it go.
In my case, I was like 6 or 7 when I realized that a church wasn't the connection to God.
Well, it depends how you grew up. See, my
Epis-
father was very
Episcopalian.
right. My father was very. We went to church, and when we came home on Sunday,
Oh, I went every
we're
day,
eating
every
dinner.
Sunday. But I
He'd
just realized
go,
that it
"What's the church?"
wasn't
Well, see,
necessary.
yeah,
The
I
church
wasn't
wasn't
taught that. I was
necessary.
brought up the opposite.
Well, that's not how I was brought up.
Oh, I
but that
know. It
was
all
my
depends how
realization.
you brought up, right? So when that realization comes to you, and at that point, for me, it was the annulment, going, oh, I didn't need any of this.
Well, one of our ladies that works with us said, oh no, it was the husband, Jim. He used to say, instead of calling the Catholic priest father, call him daddy, and it makes everything look different. A different perspective on this authority figure that's telling you what to do.
Right, the authority figure. I'll tell you, since you brought that up, I did say to my dad, me being me, I told my parents, well, there's never a dull moment as long as I'm around. But my mother ended up getting sick, and my father, as I'm talking to him in his kitchen, he kept saying, well, the man upstairs will take care of her. He always said that. So then I said to him, Dad, I actually have a comment. Can I, would you let me say it? He goes, what? And I go, do you believe that you're a child of God? Do you agree with that statement? He goes, yes. I go, well, all you ever talk about is the Father, the Father, the Father, the Father, the Father. I said, Dad, if you're a child of God, in order to make a child, you know you need a man and a woman. I said, so there's also a feminine aspect of God. I said, it's not just the masculine, it's also the feminine, because the masculine and the feminine both have beautiful gifts in balance to bring together to make the whole. And that keeps getting left out. So I just wanted to add this. And he looked at me and he gave me his smirk, as he always does. And he goes, what kind of books are you reading? And I go, actually, very interesting books.
Yeah.
Well,
and left it at that.
Historically, before Christianity,
Right.
they were basically in balance. And then because of this perverted, I don't want to say perverted, but because of the highly masculine point of view that's common in the Mideast, which is very dominant in the Muslim religion,
well, even
Christianity.
Well, I mean, basically, before that, it was maternal.
Right.
Yeah.
It was maternal,
culture.
right.
But the thing is that men specifically started getting into, with their right brain, left brain structure, started organizing written words. And because they had written words, they had power. And that's eventually what brought about the shift from the maternal to the
but it started in the Mideast.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying...
For whatever, I think it had to do with the going out into the deserts more or something, I don't know.
But that's the thing. So you can see, to me, when you look at the world and where it's at, you can see where all of this has gotten us. And that's why I'm so excited about the shift in consciousness, as I call it, the end of the Mayan calendar, because it's about bringing it into balance. Because even as a girl growing up, I was never your typical girl. I just didn't believe in the man and the woman separation, and I'm better and you're better, and fighting, and I just never believed in any of that, and it just made no sense to me. So now, with everything that's been happening and what's changing, I'm just seeing this change, even though it's slow. But as my mother said, I have the patience of a saint. I do. I'm a very patient
So how
lady.
how do we get people to get to the point where they offer unconditional love to other people?
Well, there's, I am the change I want to see in the world. The words I speak, I live them, or I don't speak them. I'm here to introduce the new human. And I say the new human because, to me, I am bringing back integrity. If I don't mean it, I don't say it. Honesty. I have nothing to hide.
Well, if you're bringing it back, it's not new. It's a reawakening.
Well, right, but you're bringing it back into the awareness of the people who have forgotten.
Yes.
Sure, just even the word human, most people aren't even aware. And if you stop and think about it, what that is, human. The name of God back then was Hugh.
Yeah.
Right.
We are man of Hugh.
Very
so
powerful
once
meditation.
people, exactly. So the thing is, once people realize that there is a strong connection, we even call ourselves human, we have a strong connection to source.
Yes.
Okay, and so the thing is that if you can sit and listen You don't have
Most people don't.
right. But if you can just do that, I mean, there's so much, as was mentioned before. I mean, the use of technology today, the use of the boob tube, the television. I mean, basically, it's there to entertain you, so you can come from your mind-numbing job to your mind-numbing family situation.
That's right.
Into just being entertained, and therefore you don't have any time to sit by yourself and reflect.
On the choices you're making in your life, because you're taught
Reflect,
that everything
period.
is
They don't
outside
even
of you,
realize-
when in fact your life is a reflection of what's inside of you.
Right, a reflection exactly of what's inside you, because
Right.
that's what a reflection
That's
is.
right.
As you look
That's
at the
right.
mirror, it's what's in, right,
Right.
exactly. But I'm just saying that, most people don't even allow, most people have no idea.
Right, which is why you see the world where it is,
Right.
and people like, say, us, who when you speak up, when you question something, when you do anything like that,
Right.
then what do? What happens? You get a label on you. Oh, you're this, you're this, you're this, and they keep telling you that over and over and over, but guess what? I'm like, you can say whatever you want to say,
Right.
as much as you want to say it, but I'm not going to believe what you're telling me I have to believe, because I don't believe that. So that's why I come to my knowing
Right.
and my truth, that this is my truth. I'm the only person that's me here. There's no one else like me. I'm in a unique expression. That's what we're all here to be. The unique expressions of all that is. That's why, to me, life is like so cool.
Right.
Because if we were all the same, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We'd
Right.
just be sitting here going, oh, look at these flowers. These are nice. Yeah, they're nice. Instead, we go, wow, look at the colors. Look at how beautiful. If they were real, we would smell them and touch them even more and feel the energy from them, because there's so much more than what we've been told.
On other levels.
Right.
Yes.
Well, talking about levels now, I mean, back in '87 when they had the convergence, people became more aware of the synergy of the master numbers 1111, and they began to understand that when you see 1111 anywhere now digitally, you just take a moment to express gratitude. What is the significance of 1212? See how we just had December 12th roll by.
Oh, well, 1212 was a portal that opened up. See, that's the thing, as I read and explore, I'm open to everything,
Portal to
close
what?
to nothing. Portal to energy opening up. Portals, see, that's the thing. We've all been told that life is just this planet of Earth and everything's density and everything's just here. Actually, there's so much more than that in our scope of everything. I know this sounds crazy to lots of people. I mean, even to be honest, reincarnation, as I grew up, I never heard about reincarnation my whole life, ever.
That's amazing to me.
I know, it is amazing. So then when I started this journey that my soul has led me on, I'm like, whoa, oh my God, I've lived other lifetimes.
Okay, let me ask you a question here. We'll change subjects just a second. Have you ever had the occasion to either through other people or through yourself tap into other lifetimes that were preparing you for this role?
Yes. Not very long, because I haven't had the vision, but I have the knowing and the feeling and the energy more than a vision. In fact, I have to tell you, I ended up giving a speech at a church, a spiritual church I used to go to, and they have an open day. So I knew it was time for me to go up in front of an open day where you could go and speak and say whatever you want. So I went up in front of the
Congregation?
the people that were there,
sure.
the congregation, and I just let Spirit speak. And it was, I don't even know what I said, because I let Spirit work through me. That's what I'm here to do.
Okay,
I'm
well,
an
a form
open
of
vessel,
channeling,
right?
I guess,
Channeling,
yeah.
right? When I was done, as soon as I stopped talking, all of a sudden my life went pshh, and I went, and I stood there, and I remember, as if it was yesterday, I go, my whole life makes sense now.
How long ago was this?
Only a year ago. It
Really?
all made a sense. It all came together, and I said, my whole life that I remember in this lifetime, with a few inklings of other lifetimes, it all brought me to this moment of right here and right now, and this is what I'm here to do.
So
I
there's
was
your
so
aha moment.
pumped up, I can't even tell you.
Right.
I was so excited. In fact, as I go out into the world, Spirit brings me to who I'm supposed to go to, and I
Well,
just allow
you
it to
recognize it.
happen. I
You
recognize it, yes,
most
by
people-
speaking and
Exactly.
going, hey, when people come up to me and they start talking about, say, the negatives of the world, or life is hard, and I go, well, let me give you a different perspective. And I just open my heart and let my words of love come out to open up their heart and soul, and I see a transformation in them, and it just, wow. How blessed I am to be able to do this, to be open enough, and to have that blessed gift in that moment of helping somebody through my
Now,
words. Beautiful.
You meet Joe Smo, Mr. Flowers, and basically in the course of a normal conversation, you understand that they would like to do something more. How long does it take explaining things or telling truths? Or I don't know how you want to put it. How long does it take them to make them realize so that they can get to the point of unconditional love, unconditional joy?
Well, it depends, because every soul is different. So I truly believe every soul is on their own journey, and it's totally up to them. And
I agree with
judge
that.
not. But I have to tell you, I have met people where it only took a few moments. I've met people where it took 15 minutes. I've met people where it took days. I've met people where it took weeks, months. A lot of times it's kind of instantaneous, because the words I speak, they're just sitting there going, and I see
Once
in
they
front of
realize what the
me-
potentials are.
Right, because I'm just coming from love. I have no judgment. In fact, when I meet people, they sit there and they give me this look. Oh, you're looking at me. You're judging me. You think this about me. When in fact, I don't think that at all. I actually look at you. I look at your physicality. But that's not what I truly see. I go right to your soul and your
isn't
heart.
that
And I
scary,
see
huh?
this beautiful, I see this beautiful, beautiful being in front of me. Whether you see it or not doesn't matter to me, because I see it. And that makes me smile, because I am seeing myself in you.
And that's where strength comes in, or
Yes.
fear.
Well, that's the
A lot of
thing.
people
Everything
go to
is
fear.
a choice of,
Right.
in my opinion, every choice in life is either for love or fear. Love or fear. What would love do now? That's what I ask myself when I come to any experience and I have a choice to make. I say to myself, what would love do now? And I'm going to tell you, I do love for myself first. I was taught to put myself last. And so I was giving love to everybody else. And there was nothing left for me. So how the heck could I be happy? Right?
Right, right.
If I'm saying, well, I'm not worthy of my love, but everybody
Well-
else is worthy of my love, because that's what you're taught.
Right, right. Well, I think.
And this isn't
I
a
think
selfish
you can,
thing.
Right. Well, I think you can find a balance.
Yes.
Where the greatest among ye
Yes.
is those who serve.
Yes.
Okay, but yes, that doesn't mean you can't recognize yourself either. That's where the line is drawn. A lot of times, people don't recognize themselves as worthy as well.
Most people are taught they're not worthy, but I have
That's
to
right.
tell you, this expression, as I glorify myself, I glorify that which created me.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Very good.
How beautiful
Well,
is that?
just give me a second. I'd just like to thank our audience for being with us tonight with Terry Lewandowski. Very interesting. We'll continue on with another show in the future with Terry. But I really appreciate you being here with us and sharing with us what you have. It's very interesting being able to present yourself to the world the way you do, in your integrity without fear. You know, and I think a lot of us feel that way, and a lot of us can express ourselves that way. A lot of us maybe aren't at that point right now.
That's right. That's right. But I'm here to say it's okay. Baby
Right.
steps. That's what I say. Baby steps. Yeah.
So are we out of time? Or are we
No,
still?
no,
Nope.
just keep-
Okay. So you sit down to talk with someone. Are you reaching out to them on another level other than intelligence and verbally? I mean, are you sending out an unconditional love vibration?
Yes, I am.
And a
Yes,
certain-
I am. With my intent.
I don't know
yes.
what you would want to call
Yes,
it.
well, everything is energy and vibration, and love is the highest vibration, so I definitely sit there with my heart and I with my intent.
Beam it out. as
Beam it
were.
out, yes. Yes, as Jesus did. I'm telling you, Jesus has been, even though there's many helpers here, see, that's the other thing. I was taught that I'm pretty much alone, and maybe when I die, I'll be able to meet God and the angels, and
Right.
it'll be like really cool. But until then, you're here to suffer. But because of my journey, I realized there's all these helpers here that love me and are here to help me and move me along and to
You have to
grow and
ask.
evolve. Exactly.
That's
You have
what
to
it
ask
boils down
because
to.
we have free will.
Okay.
So you can't go against the free will. That's the gift that God gave us. Now, people